and welcome to Race for the White House, a show where we get you the latest from the US election. On today's show, we'll tell you how Donald Trump is still living in denial after his disastrous debate performance with Kamala Harris. Also on the show, we'll tell you how Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris has triggered a surge in voter registration in the United States. All of this and much more, so let's get started. In a surreal twist of reality, Donald Trump stands in denial after Kamala Harris decimated the former president with voice, precision, and policy. Trump clings to his narrative of victory. For Trump, he is in his salesman pitch mode, telling the story that he won the debate. In the heated exchange, Harris delivered sharp, well-articulated responses, seemingly outdoing Trump on multiple fronts. However, Trump's reaction has been anything but typical. In a series of interviews and social media posts, the former US president continues to assert that he won the debate.
Just very polite. Very good plan for the debate too. Or is it great? We had a great debate. We had great poll numbers on the debate. And we enjoyed it. I hope she enjoyed it too, but I enjoyed it. And no, we're looking at it, but when you win, you don't really necessarily have to do it a second time. So we'll see. But I thought we had a great debate. Thank you very much.
What would need to change for you to agree to a second debate? Would you want different rules? Do you want to do a format?
Well, when you don't win, it's like a fighter.
Yeah.
When a fighter has a bad fight, gets knocked out, or loses the fight, the first thing he says is, "We want a rematch." So we won the debate according to every poll, every single poll. I think that are we going to do a rematch? I just don't know. We'll think about it.
However, according to multiple sources close to Trump, there's a different story unfolding behind the scenes. Now, the conservative camp has been largely echoing Trump's perception on the debate outcome in public. But privately, several conceded that the former president had a rough night compared to his performance against Biden. An exception was the recent Trump endorser Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Reports suggest that some of the Trump's allies chose to blame his debate preppers instead of the former president. Trump also unleashed a verbal onslaught on the debate moderators. He, along with other GOP members, claimed that the debate moderators were biased against Trump. However, many analysts also say that one bad night would not cost much to Trump. Because if we look at it, Trump has had dozens upon dozens of bad nights over the last 9 years. And in the meantime, the debate's fallout continues to reverberate through the political landscape. Harris's team has been capitalizing on the perception of a strong performance, and her decision to pivot away from talking about racism and towards calling for a racially inclusive society wasn't surprising. It was her way of taking the moral high ground and avoiding the ugly personal attack that Trump often enjoys engaging in. While Trump's camp grapples with the disconnect between their leader's perception and the reality, Harris's campaign is now pushing for a second debate, which of course Trump seems to be resisting. So now, let's turn our focus to a critical yet overlooked aspect of the presidential debate, the body language of the contenders. While their words were carefully scrutinized, the non-verbal cues displayed by both the candidates added an additional layer, a layer of fence, defense, and weapon. The debate was a high-energy event, with Trump and Harris exchanging sharp arguments on key issues facing the United States. The tone was set even before a single word was uttered. And as the clock struck 9 p.m. in Pennsylvania, Harris entered the stage exuding confidence with a head up and shoulders back. Harris strode confidently across the stage to shake Trump's hand. But Harris decided to come all the way over to Trump rather than stopping center stage to wait for the former president to meet her. And for the next 90 minutes, the women who had never met him before punctured him, bit by bit, triggering his annoyance and anger. Now, Harris appeared visibly tense in the beginning. In fact, body language experts say that signs of nervousness were pretty visible initially, but she regained her composure and confidence. In contrast, Trump started off more relaxed, given that this was not his first high-stakes appearance on the debate stage. He spent much of the debate night leaning forward with his hands on the podium. he would not even look at her even while making a point. Instead, he was pointing his finger over his Democratic rival without turning his head. On the other hand, Harris at times tilted or shook her head in disbelief. At one point, she even looked at Trump, putting her hand to her chin in an exaggerated gesture. It looked like she was listening to a child's day at school. Now, her expressions turned into an instant meme on social media. And Harris employed humor effectively throughout the debate, particularly when Trump made outlandish claims about immigrants. And her laughter served not only to undermine Trump's arguments, but also to showcase her confidence in addressing absurdity. So as the debate concluded, the candidates' contrasting styles were pretty evident. Trump exited the stage abruptly without acknowledging Harris, a stark departure from the handshake that initiated the evening. Now, experts say that this behavior reinforced the divide between the two candidates and underscored their conflicted ties. Overall, Harris's performance was a dramatic shift from what Democrats saw during President Joe Biden's debate in June, which was panned as a disaster for the party. It appeared Harris has had a lot to learn from that debate. The debate's visual dynamics were not just about who was more effective in their argument. It was also about who had a stronger overall presence. Trump's assertiveness and Harris's composure provided voters with a nuanced understanding of their respective approaches to leadership. Moving on, pop star Taylor Swift's endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris for presidency has given a boost beyond Democrats' wildest dreams. Now, in the wake of Swift's endorsement, thousands have flocked to the voter registration website. Let's take a look at their numbers. On Tuesday evening, the pop star announced her support for Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. Now, according to data from vote.gov, over 337,000 people used a link from Swift's Instagram post to register at the voter website. So now the site holds information for eligible voters, including how to register to vote in your state and of course how to cast your ballot. Now the viral post, which has gotten over 9.6 million likes, urged voters to do their own research and remember to register. Now, given Swift's influence over the young generation's voter base, her endorsement has turned out to be a trump card for Kamala Harris. But this really didn't come as a surprise. The pop star's endorsement was highly anticipated. Swift has been slowly wading into politics since 2018, when she publicly endorsed Democrats in midterm elections and later again supported Democrats in the 2020 presidential polls. And Swifties are even praising the pop star for throwing her support behind Harris in this neck-to-neck battle. For more on this, listen in to our next report.
Now I need you to go in your spot. We have a live show going right here.
I woke up to that news and I thought it was great news.
So does that influence your decision at all? Or?
It doesn't. I was gonna vote whatever way I wanted to anyway, but I'm glad that she made a stance on it.
I think it's great. I think that she has a lot of impact, and when it comes to being that big of a figure, I think the fact that she's able to go and say something like that, even though people are giving her slack for it, I think it's really important to stand up for what you believe in, and I'm very happy that she endorsed Kamala.
I mean, I feel like to each their own. It's good that she said what she feels, and I mean, I feel like her politics and her music are two separate things, so you can't really combine them.
I genuinely, I don't really have any feelings. I actually found out just now, so I'm still processing it, and I'm like, okay. But I do love Kamala. I think that, she's a great woman in power. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Now it's time to talk in numbers. Voters who watched the debate last night can strongly agree that Harris outperformed Trump in every possible way. And this win has helped Harris maintain the lead in all the opinion polls throughout the country. According to New York Times polls, Harris is now leading in the national polls at about 49%, while Trump is trailing at 47%. The numbers are the same in the swing state of Michigan. While in the state of Georgia, Trump is leading with about 49% rating, while Harris has taken a back seat with 48%. While in the states of Nevada, Arizona, and Pennsylvania, Harris and Trump are at a tie, locked in with 48% rating. In the state of North Carolina, Harris is at 48%, while Trump is at 47%. And in the state of Wisconsin, Harris is maintaining a considerable lead at about 50%, while Trump is at 48%. Time to get you some quick updates from the political landscape in the United States that you might have missed. First up, Donald Trump's presidential campaign had to make a deposit of about $145,000 upfront before holding a rally in Tucson. Now, the required deposit came after Trump failed to pay over $81,000 bill from a campaign event held in Tucson Convention Center in 2016. Now, Tucson is just one of the many communities where the Trump campaign held events but failed to pay for the security provided by local police. The payments are done for the use of city facilities. Next up, Republican vice presidential contender J.D. Vance has dismissed the weight of Taylor Swift's endorsement for Kamala Harris. Now, during an interview with Fox News, Vance called her a billboard celebrity who's fundamentally disconnected with the reality. Now, the global superstar signed her bombshell Instagram post with childless cat lady remarks, something that Vance used to mock Democrats before. Now, at last, the Harris-Trump debate on ABC News drew about 67 million viewers, and this figure is far more than the 51 million viewers drawn during the Trump-Biden debate in June. However, the debate's linear TV audience still fell short of about 73 million viewers who watched the first presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump in 2020. And now, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump shook hands at New York's 9/11 memorial to mark the anniversary of the attack. This comes hours after they clashed in a fiery presidential debate on live television. Both Trump and Harris observed the anniversary of the attacks on the US with visits to each of the three sides. Take a look at these visuals as we leave you with them.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Edmiro Abad.
Marie Rose Abad.
Andrew Anthony Abate.
Vincent Paul Abate.
Lawrence Christopher Abel.
Alana Abraham.
William F. Abrahamson.
Richard Anthony Acito.
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman.
Gregory Archan.
Michael George Archensky.
Maria A. Bear.
Max J.
So that's all for today. Stay tuned to India Today Global for more updates on US elections.